Hi, good morning. I just wanted to continue what I was talking about yesterday with the fact that toxic people can cause distractions. And so I'm going to go a little bit more into what we can do about these distractions. So there's a first group of people, there's a second group, and there's a third group. So we want to be how we are. We don't really want to change how we are into another group of people. We want to take what's good from each group and create a really healthy working environment that we're not interrupted in. So that's the main objective. So the first group is the toxic people, and they are more instinctive, driven by their impulses and responding more to their own stimuli than that of the world around them. So the reason why they become impulsive, they interrupt, or they're a distraction to you, is because they're more prone to interpret what's happening inside them and how the world affects them than understanding the world as a whole and looking at the big picture. They That's not where they are. So now this is the second group, which is probably where you are if you're being distracted all the time. Okay, the second group, these are non-toxic people and they respond more to their external environment, becoming a part of it and creating balance while getting feedback from this. They draw it into their stimuli and output proper feedback. So you're in a receiving mode. You're always receiving the stimulation of the world. So instead of receiving from you're getting you're receiving from yourself, but you're also receiving from the outside world. And so between the outside world and yourself, you try to work through everything. Okay. So you might not be interpreting your own needs as much as what's going on around you. So when somebody else comes in and they interrupt, you're like, oh, I need to stop what I'm doing. This person needs something. That's kind of how you're driven. So that's the difference right there. So you become a perfect candidate to a toxic person because they're looking for someone that's going to drop everything they're doing and cater to them. So that's why you're in a toxic dynamic to begin with. Because there's the third group, okay? So this third group, this is another group of people out there who aren't impulsive and self-focused or sensitive to their environment. They're not overly sensitive to their environment. They might be a little bit sensitive to it, okay? They seem to be on a mission and no one can distract it. They usually overproduce, and we need these qualities to finish our project. So they're on a mission. They have tunnel vision. They have something they want to do. Now, these are the same kind of people you walk into a business and there's maybe 20 people in line and there's this one guy and he's running the whole store. He does everything. Like, let's just say he's the mechanic and he's the billing, he's the customer service. So when you get in there, you know you're going to wait to have a job done. It's going to be the best job you ever had. They're going to just take great care of you, but they don't know how to multitask, or they do multitask. They don't know how to what do you call it when you give jobs to other people? They don't know how to do that. Can't think of it right now. So that's what you need to do when you're in that predicament, right? So maybe you're working on your own project. Maybe you need help. Maybe that's another reason why you're not getting your job done. That's just something that we need to put out there because a lot of times we try to take on too much and we don't know how to get other people involved, and just give other people jobs that we shouldn't be doing. So that's part of the problem sometimes. But I'm going to get back to the subject here. So why you can be in the middle of a project and stop what you are working on when someone enters the room and then you are giving them your undivided attention. Toxic person's objective is to get your full attention because they are driven by this. Okay, because they're self-focused. They may not even know you were busy. It sounds crazy, but in their defense, you cannot imagine being this self-focused. Yeah, the self-focused person, they don't even know they're walking in on this project. You could have told them 100 times, but imagine being that in tune to your impulses, that you're completely driven. It's like an addiction to get like these needs met, to the fact that you don't see the people around you. That's how impulsive toxic people are, okay? And they may not be on any kind of a drug at the time or anything. This is just how they need your undivided attention. That's why they're with you. That's why they picked you, because they saw you were going to stop everything and run to them. And that's what they expect every time. Matter of fact, a lot of times they don't even know how to take an issue and process it. The way that they process their issues is through bringing it to somebody else. Delegate. That's the word. You need to delegate your tasks, okay? Let's see. So they can walk in the room and not notice half the people are in it. They literally they go to a function and they don't even know half the people are there. They can be there all day long and not know these people are in the room. Did you see Susie? Susie was there, and I'm not kidding. This is how they are. Instead of getting angry, it's your job to not be imposed on by them. That's the goal. So you don't want to be imposed on by them. So they're going to come in and they're going to interrupt, but it's not going to be internal to you. You're not going to feel imposed by it. You're going to kind of work through it. And so I've got some things that we can do to work through. I just made a short list, but come up with your own things to work through these issues, okay? Things that work for you. Let them know you're busy. You can just, when they come in, they're kind of like almost jonesing for your attention, be like, I'm busy. I had this thing I would tell my kids when I write. I just look over, I just kind of like, I'm writing. And that's all I say, because they'll stop me in the middle of a sentence. And once you lose that flow, it's not good. So you can put up signs, create a work zone, accept no interruptions between certain hours. Just let them know. 9 to 11, nobody bothers me unless it's an emergency, right? So just tell them again and again. You really have to tell these people again and again. And don't be rude about it. Just know that some people need to be reminded and told things over and over again. But you just say it quickly and you just have like a phrase. Just use these phrases so you're not irritated. And so you just say, I'm sorry, but I'm working. And if you have to say it every day, you might have this neighbor that comes to the door every day and you'll try everything. This neighbor will come and they'll say, the kids can't play every day. They can only play, on the weekends or whatever. They have homework or whatever. But this kid will still come to the door. He'll be knocking on the door at the same time every day. And like it'll be in the middle of what you're doing or whatever. And so eventually you'll try things like you don't answer the door when the kid comes to the door, right? But then so one of your kids answers the door and it just turns into a thing. So maybe you need to change your work time. That's an option too. Just some people get up and they start working at 5 o'clock in the morning so they know they won't be bothered. So there you go. I just want to give you some ways not to be interrupted and get your workflow going. Have a good day.